Bill Gates, you know Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft, said that success is a lousy teacher. It seduces people into thinking that they cannot lose. See, failure is one of the best teachers in our world. You learn more from failure than you do from success. That's why Bill Gates would say success is a lousy teacher. That in fact what it does is to seduce you into thinking that you cannot fail. Some people get really confused when, let's say, they make only one attempt and things work out for them. Fine. I'm sure you know the way our world works. Once you do something that works out well, you become an expert. People consider you an expert in that area. And they begin to ask you, how did you do it? Your success confers on you authority to speak on the subject. And then you can begin to tell people the 5 steps to success in this area, or the 7 steps to success in this area. Okay. Most times we don't admit those 5 steps or 7 steps are not the only steps that there are to succeed. Sometimes there are 20, sometimes there are 50, sometimes there are 100, sometimes 1,000. But a combination of steps delivered success to you in that particular instance. The challenge is you try the same thing the next time and it doesn't work out. And that can be very puzzling. Okay? And depressing, especially for the person that's been successful before. Yeah. So Bill Gates says that success is a lousy teacher because it has a way of seducing successful people into thinking that they cannot lose. Failure, on the other hand, challenges you to think about what you can change, how to vary your approach, increasing your chances for success. I've come to realize sometimes to remain successful or to take your success to another level, you have to cannibalize your own success. Let me put that in simple language. You have to literally kill your own success sometimes to remain successful. How many people are willing to do that? Okay? So, because you're successful already, you don't want to destroy your success. That's what I'm saying. That success seduces. Bill Gates said that success seduces successful people into thinking that they cannot lose. They can. Big time. So, the person that has failed in an attempt does not have that seduction. The person that failed does not have the temptation to repeat the same thing because that approach failed already. So the person that has experienced failure is more open. So failure results in learning. Successful people don't see failure as the end of the world. They do not see failure as the end of the world. They see it as a new beginning. An opportunity to start again more intelligently, like Robert Schuller would say. Yep. An opportunity to begin again more intelligently. We learn a lot more from failure than we do from success. Am I saying, therefore, that we should only fail, we should not succeed? No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay? We should succeed. I'm just discussing how to achieve the success, and that failure is a normal part of the process. So, learn from your successes. Many people don't. So learn from your successes. Ask yourself, what worked? What did I get right this time? Then you can repeat it for as long as it will work for you. But I'm just simply trying to alert you. You will come to a point in time when your plans won't work out exactly the way you expected them to work out, and you need to know how to manage that. Attitude first. Failure is not fatal. Failure doesn't have to be fatal. There are some instances in which it is fatal. If you're doing extreme sports or you're playing whatever game you're playing with a weapon, yeah? But in most instances, failure need not be fatal. You want to get that right so that you can interpret accurately what's happening to you. I was discussing with a top leader just a few days back, and we were discussing about the transfer of knowledge in their organization. And they run a very dynamic system, a very innovative one, a highly innovative system. And I was pointing out to them that that can be challenging when it comes to leadership. The top leader knows what he's doing. Everything he's creating looks different. We realized that his associates are finding it difficult to comprehend what he's doing. So the people at the lower levels, each one tends to see their own part of the job as the whole thing, period. And sometimes they're just running at cross purposes with other departments or units in the organization. We talked about them developing manuals where they write everything that they do and how that they do those things. And then this brilliant leader said to me, but there are things that you will never be able to write down. There are nuances, there are peculiarities to each situation and the people that are involved, you know, that you creatively manage as you go on. I said, I agree with you 100%. The knowledge that is transferred in an organization is described in two ways, breaks into two kinds. The first one we call explicit knowledge. It's explicit, it's clear, it's open, it's straightforward. And I said, that's the one that you write down. Explicit knowledge, write that down. I said, but the second one is called tacit knowledge. Tacit, you can't write it down. It depends on the scenario. It depends on the people involved, the peculiarity of the situation, and so on. So you see that leadership is both a science and an art. So the science of it is clear, straightforward. The art, you will have to paint something new each time, depending on the people you are working with. Okay? So I'm saying here that failure enhances tacit knowledge a lot. That's experience. That's knowledge they didn't teach you in the classroom. For example, you live in Africa, you read a book in your field, your technical field that is written by someone in Europe. The likelihood is, while the principles will be perfect, correct, the illustrations are likely to be from Europe. Secondly, the author, could not have factored in everything that has to do with you as a person in Africa. There are realities in Africa that the author in Europe or, say, the United States of America cannot imagine. It cannot even come into their frame of reference at all. Should I give you an example? If I read a book, as someone that grew up in Africa, I read a book, and the author says, so I went to get some water from the tap. Getting water from the tap, from my frame of reference, my experience, is different from getting water from a tap for an American. For the American, it's getting water from the tap, maybe in the kitchen or from the fridge. But for the average African, it's taking a bucket on your head, going down to the river, or going down to the only place where water is coming out of a tap on a whole street and putting the bucket on your head back to your house. Those are two different scenarios. So it's in the process of your acting out or trying to apply the principles that you read, that you gain the experience. So tomorrow, if you were to teach someone how to get water, your experience, what you would share, will be more practical, more useful to that person if the person lives in Africa like you than what was written in the book. What was written in the book has become explicit knowledge, the one you gain in the process of trying to achieve your goal. That is tacit. That is what I'm talking about. So when you realize that failure helps you to gain a lot of tacit knowledge like that, which definitely gives you a lot of advantage, then you don't see failure as a problem. You see failure as a friend. You see failure as an asset. Okay? When I was an undergraduate, I was organizing my first event ever, a seminar. Okay? It was a seminar. And the group that I was leading was a Christian group. So I organized the seminar. I had seen people organizing seminars before. I mean, we didn't have access to Twitter or the internet then, but now you guys do. Or else I would have gone online and just checked how to organize a seminar. And then I'll just work with it. That's what I do these days. Anyway, whatever little knowledge I had, I tried to apply it. And I then had to fix a theme. So I decided to choose a theme that was dramatic so that it will grab people's attention. You know what the theme was? There is no God. Then I put in brackets a statement found in the Bible. The verse that I had in mind, the biblical verse I had in mind says, "The fool has said in his heart, there is no God." But I caught that part to grab people's attention, arouse their curiosity, get them to come there, then I could push my argument, that God exists. So we put those posters that we made, on the walls and pin boards all over the school. To my surprise, as I moved around the campus, I saw people had been writing on the posters. I read statements like, "You are stupid. You are crazy. Something is wrong with you. You are mad." And so that was not the response I expected. That was not the response I expected. I expected them to come out of curiosity to hear what I had to say. And long and short of it, the attendance was not very encouraging at all when we got to the seminar. So I learned a lesson there. See, at least I will never use that topic again at a seminar. That's what I'm talking about. And today, I organize events attended by thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Some are attended by few people if it's for executives. Some are attended by thousands of people if it's everybody. But I've gained quite a bit of experience now in organizing an event. Now, there are aspects of the organization of an event that I handle like a professional, because of experience. Tacit knowledge. Yes. Have you observed that for every line of trade, every industry, that there are trade secrets? Have you observed that? Yes. There's a theoretical one. You can buy a book and read it, which is very important. But you will find out that the people that serve as apprentices usually achieve better results on the long run. Yes. Why? Because their serving apprenticeship exposes them to practical situations. Practical situations. And then when they take time to ask questions and to learn, the knowledge that they gain is heavy on tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is a huge composition of what they know. So it's practical.